Hi besties and welcome or welcome back to my channel. For anyone who's new here, I'm Sophia and I love reading romance books. More specifically, I love reading sports romances, and if you've been around on my channel for a couple of months, you will know that I was feral for a good sports romance earlier this year. And while there were a few duds, I think, in my personal opinion, that I've managed to collate a pretty good collection with a broad spectrum of different sports, as well as having both professional and college sports. So yeah, I'm really excited to share all of these recommendations with you. If you want to go ahead and comment down below your favorite sports romance, I would love to talk about them. I'd love to hear all about them. And yeah, if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. So the first recommendation I have for you, I finished a couple of weeks ago and I have not stopped thinking about it since. So this is Playing by the Rules by Monica Murphy. This is the second book in her Players series, but they are all interconnected standalones, so you are perfectly fine to just dive straight into this one. The first one is Playing Hard to Get and the third one is Playing to Win, but in my opinion, I think this is the best one. Playing by the Rules is a brother's best friend forbidden romance with lots of sneaking around, and the tension is just immaculate. Blair and Cam have known each other since high school due to the whole brother's best friend thing, and the attraction between them was pretty much instantaneous. But of course, they couldn't possibly act on it with a, I think, 2-year age gap, and Knox, who is Blair's brother and Cam's best friend, breathing down their necks. Now that was just a little bit of context for their situation in this book. This book actually takes place entirely in college, where Cam is a senior and Blair has just recently transferred to be closer to Knox and kind of get a bit of a fresh start. Lo and behold though, they end up bumping back into each other, and Blair's infatuation and Cam's like quiet obsession reignites, and after some like back and forth fighting their feelings, they obviously give in and start sneaking around. I just love sneaking around in Brother's Best Friend's book, where the sneaking around just feels like so illegal and like tensions are high and they're scared they're gonna get caught, and it just, this one had the perfect amount of all of that and I loved it so much. And the entire point of this video as a sports romance recommendation, I should probably tell you what sport this is. This is NFL American football and it's set in college. In my opinion, there is the perfect amount of sport where there's just enough, there's a few scenes and also the like a grand gesture at the end. Had me screaming. But yeah, it's kind of the perfect balance in my opinion of romance and a little bit of sports. And Cam is super hot too. This next one, if you want more smart than sports, this is the book for you. This is Midnight Kisses by Ginny Benedict. This one again is college NFL and it definitely tones down on the sports aspect in favor for more smart, and our main male character is also nursing an injury, so there's only a certain amount of involvement that he can have in the game. So our two main characters meet at a party at the very beginning of this book in the very first chapter, and they kind of hit it off instantly and end up going home together. The first 30 pages of this book is smart. But after that they kind of spend a few chapters, or maybe just like 1 or 2 chapters, just conversing and connecting and bantering and really showing you how actually connected they are and how similar they are. While those first 30 pages is incredible, I really actually enjoy just the conversation between them and the back and forth and the banter. So following that, after some back and forth and some other hookups and some like pining and some convincing, they decided that a friends with benefits situation would suit them just perfectly. Small, tiny little issue though. Greta's dad is the coach of the football team. Now that little tidbit does cause some drama in this book, as to be expected, because every time a heroine's dad is the football coach, it causes some issues. But this one just has a lot of other just drama in general, because both of the characters have quite interesting pasts, quite dark pasts, which has definitely given them some current trauma that they have to work through and kind of work through it together, which I really enjoyed seeing their character growth in this. These two characters are so flawed, but they are some of my favorite characters that I've ever read about. And I will just say this book is so beautifully written. I love the language used in this one. It is thick, but in my opinion it's very worth it. Okay, a book with a little more sports and a lot less smart. This is From Look Off With Love by Mariana Zapata. So Jasmine, our heroine, has been chasing the peak of her career for a long time. I believe it was the Olympics, but don't quote me on that. And finally, when her dreams are just in reach, her figure skating partner decides to trade her in for the new model and leaves her in the dust, with her dreams looking less and less likely. However, lucky for Jasmine, Mr. Ivan Lukov, the owner of the skating rink and also her sworn enemy, is in need of a new doubles figure skating partner. Doubles? Pairs. guess. I don't know the terminology. Naturally, they pair up, but it is not without their fair share of bickering and cursing each other out. I love this book, and the figure skating aspect is unlike anything else I've ever read. I really enjoyed learning about it and kind of going along for the ride with these characters. Mariana Zapata is so good at writing slow burn, but also writing about a kind of realistic relationship development. There's also some fantastically tension-packed scenes in this one. I think there's only one spicy scene towards the end of the book, but trust me when I say everything else in this and the tension and the build-up makes up for it. Yeah, I really love this one, and if you think you have the patience for the slow burn, I would definitely recommend it. Continuing on with our professional athletes, the next book I have for you is Flawless by Elsie Silver. Total 180 from figure skating because Rhett is a bull rider. Now, he's gotten himself in a little bit of a publicity strife, and his agent essentially insists on giving him a PR babysitter who just so happens to be the agent's daughter. And so Summer essentially follows Rhett around on tour and keeps him in check. They also go back to his small town to stay with his family for a little while, and I love that part of the book just because the characters are so full of life. Rhett's dad is such a little shit stirrer, oh my god, and his brothers are really fun. Yeah, I just think this book is such a fun, wild ride, unlike anything else I've ever read before, because who reads about bull riders, you know? It's just a really easy read, and I love the bull riding aspect. And yeah, there is also a one bed scene. All right, let's spice it back up again with another college sports romance. With this one, I'm gonna recommend you kind of the entire series. This is the Red Zone Rivals series by Candy Steiner. This is a college NFL series. There's a lot of NFL on this list. Where's all my hockey? There will be some hockey coming, I promise you. The last three are all hockey. Now, the most widely loved book of the Red Zone Rivals series would have to be Blindside. This one is a fake dating, inexperienced heroine. He reads her romance books kind of thing, and Clay is honestly just such a sweetie, but he's like so hot at the same time. However, my personal favorite is Quarterback Sneak. This one is Coach's Daughter. I think I have a thing for Coach's Daughter. But Coach's Daughter, where both the hero and heroine have quite a bit of trauma, very deep-rooted issues in their pasts, and she's also, hear me out, she's the team's physiotherapist. There's this one perfectly platonic, perfectly polite massage scene, and let me tell you, the tension in that one scene, oh my god, cut it with a knife. It was so good. Now, while we are at it, those two are definitely the most popular in the series, but the first one is Fair Catch. Don't quote me on this because I haven't actually read this one, but I'm pretty sure this one is another brother's best friend, second chance roommates kind of deal. And fourth and finally in the series is Hail Mary. This is a second chance romance where they both share a love for video games, and the heroine in this is plus sized and she is so freaking badass. She's a tattoo artist. Oh my god, I love her so much. Alrighty, moving on to potentially the reason everybody is here, the hockey romances. Now we're gonna stay with Candy Steiner for a little bit longer, and I'm gonna tell you about Meet Your Match. This one is a professional hockey romance where Maven, our heroine, works in kind of like content creation and influencing in, I think it was Philadelphia. Anyway, there is this new hotshot rookie hockey player on the scene who is garnering everybody's attention, and Maven has essentially been tasked with the job of following him around and documenting his entire life for a month. Only issue is Maven has a big grudge against professional hockey players, and Hera and Vince definitely start off on the wrong foot. I'd say they have a very steamy, very volatile, I'm not sure that's the right word, but I feel like it still conveys my point. It's very fiery, it's very hot, it's just a very fun time. The two of them definitely have a kind of like brat dom situation relationship going on as well, which added a whole new aspect to the story. And a note on the actual like sports aspect of this book, you can really tell that Candy did her research. It is incredibly evident that she talked to hockey players and their partners to kind of gain the information and the knowledge on the team dynamics and their entire routines, because my god was it detailed. But also the team dynamics and the kind of friendship group of the guys that play on the team is so like, I don't know, I just love it. It's perfect. The banter is amazing. And this is actually going to become, I think, a 6-book series. And the next one is like Brother's Best Friend, sneaking around. Can't wait for that one. And then I think the coach also gets a book as well. And there's going to be a grumpy goalie. Oh, I can't wait for the rest of this series. And back into college sports we go. This one is a super popular recommendation. A lot of people have read this book, but if you haven't, I would really recommend checking it out because it's just such a fun time. This is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This one follows Garrett, who is really struggling to keep his grades up, and he really needs to retain his position as the college hockey team captain. And then we have Hannah, who is acing every single one of her classes because she's just a little girl boss. And so after some pretty hardcore convincing on Garrett's part, Hannah ends up tutoring him and their relationship kind of just naturally progresses. I'm pretty sure it's been a hot minute since I've read this book, but I'm pretty sure there is some fake dating in this one, which so fun. It's like the blueprint for sports romance, honestly. I'm gonna be honest, this one is kind of cliche, but it really is the characters and their backstories and just the banter between all of them that really makes this book. I absolutely adore the entire hockey team in this one and just their college boy antics and the way they just like adopt Hannah into their mix. It's so cute. If you're yet to read this one, please pick it up. It is literally the standard for sports romances. And finally, to combine everybody's favorite sport to read about, hockey, and one of the ones that I found very intriguing, we have a hockey and figure skater romance. This is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This one kicks off when our characters return for the college hockey season, only to find out that their rink has melted. I think it might have been a prank, but don't take my word on that. But yes, the hockey rink is therefore out of commission, and these big, burly, goofy hockey players are forced to share the rink with the figure skaters. This obviously creates a little bit of tension, a little bit of disliking between Nate and Stars, and that kind of just continues as they bump into each other at parties and the like. Nate is honestly just the definition of a golden retriever boyfriend, and he's so willing to just bend over backwards for anyone and anything that he loves. Garrett Graham walked so Nathan Hawkins could run. There's also some really positive mental health representation in Stars, and this book is honestly just such a comfort read. And with that, we have actually come to the end of this video. I really hope I've managed to introduce you to some new sports romances, some new fun ones, some new hot athletes. I love all these books so much, and I really cannot wait to continue exploring the sports romance genre. There will absolutely be a part 2 to this video once I've read a few more sports romances and found some more that I absolutely love. But yes, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You can follow my bookstagrams and send me a friend request on Goodreads. I am very behind on my reading goal, but that is the place where I always update what I'm reading. You can find all of my ratings and like recommendations, and like some of them have tropes listed under them. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!